Hey guys. Hey, it's David. Hi. Hey. Good. I figured I'd hop in and start playing the game too. Yeah. Hi, Allie. I'm good. Obviously, well, everyone knows what's happening in the game, so no need to talk about that, I guess. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, like, one thing that you and I were talking about a bit in that server we're in, right? Like this whole relic delta. It's clear they're doing this versus any of the other things they could be doing because it's the easiest thing to code, right? It's so easy to code, minus percent damage if you have a different relic level or whatever. Um, And actually, in your chat, Bones, you got a message just now. Something I want to address. Did you see who the new owners of EA are? People are speculating, right? Yeah. I mean, like, I personally, I don't think Relic Delta and Saudi Arabia and the Kushner family buying EA are related. That's my opinion. Because first of all, that's not going to come into effect immediately, as far as I'm aware. And like, I don't think CG would be told, "Hey, you've made $2 billion in a Star Wars game. Why don't you shut it down?" Right? That just wouldn't make business sense. It, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Now, ha- that's true. But has anyone? I don't know if anyone here is a fan of the other sports that like because I know Saudi Arabia they've been investing a lot in what golf and like is it UFC or wrestling, right? I don't know if anyone watches those companies and if they've been doing anything to the sports or simply just you know sponsoring it. Yeah, like that's possible. That's true. That's true.
There's hundreds of things that are good in that game that they could bring to this. Why this?
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah,
that's what makes me think there's a tie between
yeah.
it being bought. I think that they have some. I think it might have the same investors, same people somehow, because it's hard to. A lot of these people have a lot of so many different companies and groups underneath an umbrella. It's hard to trace back what's tied to what. But I
And
do
I
know
mean,
that
this
as
is
Saudi,
the Saudi Arabian government too. Like they obviously they have a lot of money, so that is a good point.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So that's but like I agree with what you said, but I'm worried about their bad business decisions for the game.
no, I totally agree, and like I mean, Saudi Arabia has not also been an ally to the West. Obviously,
Yeah.
to talk about a whole country, there's inevitably politics involved, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and,
I mean,
I want to mention this very vaguely on Scoundrels this week, but of course not getting into real world politics. But there is some smoke to this fire, though, of it being bought, and yes, by Saudi Arabians, because Saudi Arabians are also buying up other mobile games that are just like this, i.e. Marvel Strike Force, and implementing just at the same time as this is happening, you happen to put the worst decision ever made in Marvel Strike Force, which they're thinking about pulling out because it's killing their game.
Yeah.
And Marvel Strike Force is a great game. I love Marvel Strike Force. It took too much time for me, but I love that game. So if it's killing it, then it's really bad.
Of course, don't forget there are American investors, that being the Kushners, obviously the son-in-law of Donald Trump. Obviously, a lot to say about that potentially, but maybe not on stream.
Yeah.
But,
no, I get it. I try not to get too much into that. Because
but I mean,
honestly,
these are.
I just don't care. But when
these
it comes
are
to the game, I'm very
in charge of the
interested.
game. Of course, and that's
so,
just something.
But this, like we said a minute ago, is I'm not impressed by this big long thing they did. Didn't tell me anything. Pretty much just said, "Hey, this is why we're doing it, and we're implementing it." They didn't really even say they're backing down on the percentages. They didn't even say, "Hey, we're going to dial it back." I mean, they might, but they didn't say they are. So
and what I was saying in your chat a few minutes ago, right? Like, you've heard of the term compliment sandwich, right? Like when you want to tell someone bad news, you say something nice or good, then bad, then good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know Meathead. I think he's done a pretty good job overall managing the community. I think he dropped the ball on this post, and I think
you said Meathead.
Yeah, because he's the one who made the post. I mean, I think this whole Relic Doctor thing, he has not been doing a great job communicating, and the reason why is, I mean, that post, right? It almost read like that was. I know he wrote the post, but it read as if it was like a developer writing it, like a very matter of fact. And of course, it's just 90% of the post is just, here's why the community is wrong, and then here's a few goodies for you, right? But I would have, one thing one of my guildies said, and he's a big Kraken. He only has he's had an account for 2 years. He has 12 million GP, including all Fire King Hondo, and like 12 million in the raid. He's a mega Kraken, right? What he said is, and first of all, he's kind of pro Relic Delta, so I just want to give that context. He said, if CG started with a post, don't mention Relic Delta, just like, hey, we're going to be increasing the avenues by which you get relics. Whether it's just straight up increasing the drop rate, a new game mode, a new event, whatever. If they started with that, and then maybe a month or two down the line, they announced Relic Delta, I think there'd still be uproar, and it'd be justified. But the fact that they just said, we're not helping you, we're just doing this, that was the bad thing. That they just said, you know what, you got to take it.
No, you're right, 1,000%. The only thing I would say I disagree with, and this is just a sentiment that I've had my whole life playing it throughout the years, and they've came and gone. But as far as community managers, they're handed that. Someone sent that to him in an email, and he posted it
That's true.
His name.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I think he's left free reign when it comes to like kit reveals and stuff, right? You can tell.
True.
Also, those kits are just copy and pasted, and he does a little intro. You know what I mean? Really, it's just the very top paragraph is his. So the thing about it is he's there just to, I guess, filter out the information, and from time to time, I'm sure he's sitting there watching videos and watching, to kind of get the pulse on how people feel. And he probably goes back and reports, and maybe he sees a good idea and tells them and stuff like that. Because I feel like
that's true.
I've seen some ideas of content creators talk about, and then shortly after they just happen to pop up. I think that comes from that. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to like the posts though, I think he's just posting under his name. Really, it's stuff that's been handed down and combed. Well, I say combed over until you see like the spelling mistakes and stuff. But you know what I'm trying to say. It's been approved, and then he just copies, pastes, and posts it up there.
That's definitely possible.
There's not community manager is the best job to have in the world. I'm sure he gets a decent pay. No. You know what I mean? And you don't really do much. For sure. You get to sit there. I would love that. That's my dream job. You get to sit there and just talk to the community. There's some things you can say, some you can't, as far as being nice and stuff. If someone's being an asshole, obviously you just don't do it. But anyways, so I don't think it's ever really his fault. I think community managers get a lot of the blame, but people have to think they're just the messenger. You're pretty much killing the messenger.
No, I do agree with that. Yeah.
But everything else you said, I agree 1,000%.
If he did write the message himself, I don't think he did a good job with it. Obviously, I guess we'll
I agree. I don't think that CG did a good job because it's just
no.
It was just a bunch of blowing smoke up our ass, kind of where it's like, here's just a bunch of words. We're not even real. In a nice way, we're just telling you we're going to do this anyways, and this is why we're doing it, whether you like it or not. Unfortunately, is what it's pretty much saying.
Not even pretty much saying. That is literally what they're saying in that post.
I mean, I was reading it, and it's like we only came up with 3 things, and we refused to think of more than 3 things, and we were only going to do these 3 things. There's no other ideas that we're going to allow. Only this, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, even if they didn't want to do Relic 10, obviously, yes, they said they're doing Relic 10. Why not just be like, they could develop a new system. They certainly could. They have the funds for it. Saying. They just don't want to.
No. Yeah. I've been saying the same thing as well. It's like, go beyond Relics. After Relic 10, come up with a brand spanking new system that goes on top of that. You got your gear, then you got 10 Relic levels, and you have a whole nother thing. It's not called Relics, it's not called gear, it's just some other grindy mechanic you can come up with. We're playing this to grind. I'm not, just, and it's already too grindy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that as a solution, and I'm saying it's too grindy. I don't know what I mean by that, but I way prefer that than what they're doing here because it negates 10 years of my progress. I've played this since day one. It negates everything I've worked for just by one little nerf.
I understand why some people might be upset why a Relic 9 team is beaten by, let's say, a Relic 5 team. If I'm talking the example of, let's say, Relic 5 Phoenix versus Relic 9 Inquisitors. But that's mechanics, right? That is how the kits function. Like
you can just change a kit. You can just change a kit. I would rather than nerf a kit, even if it's been around forever.
And I think one thing CG should have always done is frequent reworks and rebalancing of kits. Right? I mean, how many times have we all thought, oh, here's a really cool Datacron ability. Let's put that in the kit, right? They could have done that so many times at this point. And that would have been so cool. Like Afra, right? Her focus Datacron, if they put even some of that in her kit, she'd be like a good character that you could use throughout the game.
She's a reaver or a lifter because I have zero reason to get her.
Just she's the one legend put her. Yeah, put her whole focus Datacron from 2 seasons ago. That's all you need. Done.
Yeah. Give her. She definitely needs because I want her. She's just there's no reason to get her. Zero.
Yeah.
Zilch. Until they make her needed for a GL, I won't get her.
Yeah, like the only thing that's actually been reworked several times is Leviathan.
Yeah, which is driving me nuts. That's a whole other issue.
100%, yes.
I'm so irritated. And they're just dropping the ball. They're making the game worse. And by being lazy, they're making the game worse. Just, okay, if that's the case, be lazy, stop screwing with the game, and just release characters. Because GEC will always drive people around. GEC is what's driving this game. Even if you don't like GEC, and you play other game modes, the reason you're still playing this game is because GEC is driving it, because PvE content can be overcome after a while, and it's no longer, it's just forgotten about. Whereas when it's PvP driven, as long as you release new characters, and you just continue the Datacron thing, you can change metas, you can change things around. I don't love Datacrons, but I'll take Datacrons any day beyond this. So
Yes,
I
and
forgot
Datacrons,
they're
there's
anti-Jedi.
stuff to invest in. Some of them are fun, right? They're getting a little crazy with the bonus turn bullshit, but they're fun for the most part. I gotta comment my chat. Solutions always said nerf Chimera when talks about fleets. True. Yeah, like they're lazy, and but the thing is, we've as a community, we've let them be lazy, right? And obviously, no one can take back all the money they've spent, whatever. But we've let them be lazy and rewarded. Like the new marquee structure, obviously, is generating a lot of money, and it's a good structure. I like it. Like
I think it's great. Yeah,
if I spend a few thousand crystals, I can get a character to Relic 5 within the first week. Like I like that.
I forgot they're anti-Jedi. I'm just thinking about feats. I'm not thinking about matchups. Yeah. Continue on, man. They were just giving me shit.
You're fighting. You're fighting Reva.
Yeah. Well, Grand Inquisitor. Yeah.
All right, sorry, Grant. I literally open your stream. I see Grand Inquisitor and I say Reva.
No, you're good, buddy. You're
lost my train. Yeah, like they're just they've been riding their own coattails, right? They've been riding the revenue, and they haven't felt a need to innovate. Like the Hondo event is the perfect example of that, right? What is the Hondo event? There's a little bit of funny dialogue, but it's literally copy paste from other events, just adding Hondo in there.
Watched it. Yeah.
Oh, it's literally he just self-inserts himself into other Galactic Legend events and just carries the battle. Like there's like Kenobi versus Grievous. There's like the really shitty mission in the Leia one where you have to. It's like Rolo and Captain Han.
I know that one.
Yeah, and like,
that was horrible.
Like Luke versus Vader and Palpatine, and it's just Hondo's like, oh, I was there, and it's kind of funny, but that is the entire event. They didn't create a single piece of new content, right? Like Hondo. First of all, Hondo has no character arc. He shows a little bit of sympathy to Ezra, but he's no character arc. He's never been live action. Obviously, weird choice for Galactic Legend, whatever. But like they couldn't do one single I'm thinking when I think of Hondo, I think the episode of the Clone Wars where he captures Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan. That's what I think of when I think of Hondo. And I think of his interactions with Ezra, where Ezra pretends he's Jabba the Hutt. Put that in there.
Everyone knows that meme. Yeah.
Put that. That should have been in there, right? That's actually Hondo's character.
I would love to get a stormtrooper Ezra. I love when heroes dress up as stormtroopers. There's something about that I love.
Yeah, they should have a fake stormtrooper faction.
Because I also want stormtrooper Luke as well. But yeah. I agree with what you're saying there for sure. So I want to go back real quick. Lord of the Fly, you said way up here. Hold on. A prince must want to be successful at a pay-to-win game and wrote a $55 billion check. The biggest whale ever. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what Scopely is, Lord of the Fly. I'm not saying that they're the same company, but you can have lots of different companies and still somehow be tied to each other. It just seems there's a lot of coincidences, is all I'm saying.
Well, especially if it's a government entity. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
And also, companies can't acquire too many assets either, or they'll get, things will get blocked and stuff. So you create other companies to acquire things, but really the same people are running it.
Yeah.
It's a thing. There's like BlackRock and other look into BlackRock.
Yeah.
They're a big they're buying up. They're pretty much buying up America, so that eventually you can't do anything about it. Yeah, a corporation will run America eventually, and BlackRock.
Yeah. BlackRock's become the boogeyman of the world, and hopefully so.
And it's very scary, but what do you do? So we just play these games and let them do it. But so anyways, yeah, I just feel like that's what's kind of going on here, but in a Saudi Arabian type group. But yeah, we talked about it, Lord of the Fly. We talked about it quite a bit in length for a couple hours yesterday. So, but yeah, my point is like there's no problems in the game, to be honest. There are things that need to be fixed and redone and some polished, but I'm not asking for more content either. I don't even need a new mode. I just want you to redo the modes that suck ass.
And there's
I
already
think
so much to do in this game.
Honestly,
Right?
I'm just fine with new characters. Just let me collect, give me some new legendaries. I do want power creep. Everyone's so scared of power creep. It's essential to these games. I'm not saying every team has to be better than the other, but for the most part, every year, 60 to 70% of the teams need to be better than most of the old ones. And then later down the road, you can bring in old characters and make them better into a newer team and do that. And that needs to be part of their plan, is taking old characters and making them viable again. Doing that, they will fall of availability eventually, but still they're going to be better than they were before. And it only makes people like us happier. So I just, I don't know. But.
I have a theory, or maybe it's just something I want to happen in the game. Obviously, remember the great nerf of 2021, right? Where they just got rid of all the things that were defense ignore. I think they need to do the same thing for crit immunity. I think too many teams have permanent or too frequent full team crit immunity, or entire characters with crit immunity. That it's hurt Ahsoka, it's hurting Hondo. It's just, I think the crit avoidance up and down buff was good, and I think they should replace crit immunity with crit avoidance buffs and debuffs, maybe in stacking crit avoidance.
That's beyond my pay grade, man. I don't even know. I don't even have an opinion about that, because I would have no idea how much it affects or doesn't affect.
Just like how many teams? Think of all the teams you fight that just you can't crit, right? JMK in terms of GLs alone, JMK, SLK arms are most contexts. Leia reduces your mastery really fast. If you have like General Kenobi on a team, gas you can't crit when you counter. There's all these things that there's so much crit immunity in this game, and a lot of recent teams especially have stacking crit damage and crit chance mechanics that just don't matter.
Right.
So I would have liked to see them maybe address that. Obviously there's a lot of bugs in this game they need to fix.
It's just like, I need you to work on the game that's already here.
Yeah.
There's so many tiny things that they can do to make the game better. And I don't care what they say. They keep blaming old code. You can do some of these easier things. I don't want to hear about old code. You guys can do some of the easier stuff that people are asking.
When
Delta Relics isn't going to help old code. You know what I mean? It's not going to fix old code if that's what you're blaming it on. That's kind of what they were blaming it on today. Well, because of old code, this is the only way we can do it. Is if we do this stupid thing that only one other game has done, and they're taking it out of their game.
And one thing I actually said when I was on Three Scoundrels when you weren't there, one thing I think this game really desperately needs is hot utils shouldn't need to exist. I love hot utils. Thank you to the team. But it should not need to exist. Specifically in regards to the mods.
I have a conspiracy theory that somehow hot util makes a lot of money, and I think that they somehow have a deal, like a
100%.
deal.
100%.
I have a conspiracy theory that we're about to have a podcast.
Oh.
And
Ali.
Bones isn't going to be on it.
I know. I'm trying to steal all your viewers. No, I did say earlier, everyone go over and watch that. Do not watch me. Are you guys about to start?
In a bit, you are welcome to join.
Okay. I would so join, but I have like a little date night tonight. So every Tuesday is date night. So I have to, can't do anything.
Allie, you're back?
I've been doing Club 38 the whole time.
Okay.
So not really back, but
Mm-hmm.
Really soon.
I will be hanging out with you. I will be hanging out with you guys in chat.
I will be back really soon.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Probably within the next week or two.
Nice.
We'll have to do some dual gax on whoever's channel. That's always fun. Have you ever done that with anybody yet?
I'm really not supposed to, because I said it's bedtime.
Allie?
7:30.
Yeah.
What's that?
Have you ever done dual gax with anybody?
I mean, I've done the
This is done.
hot sauce stream with Rabbit Beaver.
Like whenever, so like you can do it however you want. Me and Avant used to just do it where like I do a couple of battles, then we'd switch over to his stream. He'd do a couple of battles, or you could just do one and then the person would do the other one. But it's all in the
That
same
works.
stream. But
Yeah, we could
I
set
love
something up.
I love doing that with people, and so I would love to do it. It doesn't even have to be a content creator. I would do it with anyone. Maybe we should start making that more of a thing. It'd have to be like a night thing though, because when I do it during the day, it takes me way too long just to do it by myself. I'm talking. Yes.
Can I have the
And Allie, you gotta be a part of the D&D one shot I do eventually.
Absolutely, I'll be there.
I guess. Isn't it up there?
And Lemon,
But,
yeah, I'd like to be in Club 38 sometime.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got. It's not until like late October right now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be in touch. Once you're all back.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've been doing Club 38 because I'm not the one that's running OBS and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can just join by phone.
So, it's easier to do, but
But I will take a night and come join you guys though. I'm trying to get back. I keep saying this for like 7 months now. I'm trying to get back into the normal routine of everything.
but I gotta get back over there and get ready for the show.
Hey, are you guys
Okay,
going
so
back?
what is it? 30 minutes from now? I want to stay around and I'll raid you. Is what I'm trying to figure out.
About that, yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll hang around another 30
Sounds
minutes and
good.
raid you guys.
We're all in the VC, so we're setting stuff up. It might even be sooner. We'll see.
Okay, Ellie. I will see
All right.
you guys in a little bit.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Yeah, Allie.
Let's see. Club 30. Are you on their Discord?
Yeah, I'm on Allie's Discord. I don't think I'm on.
Oh my god.
Gates.
God damn it. In my podcast. I like how I created a podcast. I don't even know what's going on with it anymore. So I didn't realize all the huts hang out. Mike and Womp are hanging out with them. And I'm literally streaming right when it begins. I have to get off here. What a terrible podcast
Coming.
friend that I am. I apologize to Mike, Club 38, and everyone else. I'm a horrible, horrible co-host. Well, I wouldn't call me a co-host anymore, but I'm whenever like
All right, y'all better go.
you have to still give things to George Lucas, even though he had nothing to do with Star Wars. He's still in the credits
Yeah.
every time. Yeah, you guys have to put me in there every time. no
That's
matter
you
what.
with Club 38? Yeah.
Well, not Club 38. So I have Huts
Or
hang out
three
as well.
scoundrels.
I have 3 scoundrels and Huts hang out. I have 2. And it's the same thing, Swugga based, pretty much same style. But I wanted to do one that's more for international people. So Womprat's British, Aussie Mike is
Australian?
fucking Australian, obviously. And then there's me representing America. But either if you're in America, you can wake up at 8 a.m. listen to it, or if you're somewhere else in the world, you might be able to catch it. Whereas 3 Scoundrels is really tough to even get a lot of the content creators on because they don't live in America. So I
Yeah.
just had the idea that, hey, I love hanging out with these guys. I talked to them in VC anyways. They're knowledgeable about the game. I just thought they would be a great podcast, and they're doing great. They're doing great without me. So,
Awesome.
but yeah, you're welcome to come on there too. Have you heard of them? The Huts Hangout.
I have, yes. Yeah.
Okay. If you ever want to go on there and anything, man, as well, I literally walk into work when they go live. So very rarely am I able to drop in, because then right afterwards I go to the farmer's market with my client and everything. So it's very hard for me.
What time do they... Wait, what time zone are you in?
I'm in Central. So it's,
Okay.
what is it,
Okay, so that's-
7:37 here right now.
Yeah, so, okay, if it's 8 a.m. for you, I'm Eastern, so what, 9 a.m.?
Okay.
Is Central 1 hour or 2 hours? No, I'm forgetting.
So sorry, when I was doing it on the regular, I lived in Florida. So when I say that time, I'm talking in Eastern, but I'm in Central.
Okay.
So it would be 7 a.m. my time in Central,
Okay,
and 8 a.m. Eastern, Florida time.
gotcha.
God, I have no fucking clue what that is in California. Early as shit. I'm sure 6, I guess.
Well, it's 3 hours before Eastern, so 5.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're not doing any punked. Let me catch up with you guys. Oh, so Fly, you missed it yesterday about the whole buyout. Yeah, man, you should just look into it. But there is kind of a rabbit hole you can go down about MSF, Saudi Arabian groups buying up mobile games that are very popular, i.e., MSF, Swugga, similar games, similar things are getting implemented around the same time as all this is going on. There's some interesting stuff going on there. So there's some tea leaves to actually look into. I'm not going to call anyone. There's going to be those people that are irritated that people are asking questions and being worried about the game. This time of all times is a time to be a little worried. I'm not saying it's going to die. You know what I'm saying? But there is some things to be worried about. And I'm way behind all you guys. But I agree, Jack. Matchmaking sucks. Yeah, I agree.
Also, like TW matchmaking, right? Like, it should be like GP. It shouldn't just be on join GP. There should be, like, for example, my guild, right? Where we just hit today with May 676 million GP. We do not mandate signups. And like the last TW a few days ago, we had, I think, 38 people signed up. We were on a 6-win streak, right?
Damn.
And we got faced against a like 570 mil GP guild who didn't even have data crops. And we were like we were on a win streak, right? Like, why is this happening on a win streak? A really big one. Like, we just felt bad. And, you know, people just didn't sign up because they had weekend plans. But they need more brackets, and they need better matchmaking. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do better, like factoring GP into Grand Arena matchmaking, right?
There's some really simple things they could make it. It's not hard to do. They could do some simple things that makes it hard for 10 millions to fall to Erodium. You literally just say, you can't fall past, if you're the certain GP, you can't fall past this league. And they just, if you're going to keep entering and not attacking, you're just going to be attacking people that aren't attacking. So you're just drawing with each other. Like, that's all you have to do. Yeah. I mean, there's other things that are more advanced that you can still do, but it's not hard. It really isn't, and it's laziness, and it's just dumb.
I just want to see this game through. I mean, honestly, I know you're a gamer too. Like you know, there's so many just like, especially for people who this is their only video game. There's so many more things you can do with a video game, right?
Yeah.
I just wish that, you know, obviously something like Raid Shadow Legends is obviously a great thing to compare to.
Yeah.
That this game just isn't taking advantage.
I played that a lot too.
And I'm doing my first ever Mace run in Raid.
Yeah, someone asked earlier about my Mace Windu. He's like gear 7 or 8. I don't even. I can't. I don't. If I can't get him to gear 12 and put mods on him, I don't want to use him. I'm not worried about it. And Bane says I don't represent America. You don't know, man. I don't think I'd be too much worse than what's going on now. How many TWGP after sign up? Are you talking to David?
Oh, for me, probably me based on that.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Let me do a little bit of math.
Can I stack fortifieds?
Aussie Mike 13 followed your
500, 550 mil. Thanks for the follow, Aussie Mike.
Good man, good man. Yeah, Mike, try to get him on too. I'm trying to help you guys. If I'm not going to be there, I can at least try to get you guys some guests. Can I stack fortified discs? It doesn't say I can't.
I think you can. I don't know if it's all that useful. But...
I mean,
I've never tried it personally.
Fuck it, we'll just leave it in there then. Are they both in there? No. We'll give it a try.
Mess that up.
Boners on the sup, dude. What up, Reaper? Good to see you, brother. Love you, man. How you doing, buddy? I'm gonna have to get off here soon, David.
Okay, no problem. Just figured I'd stop and chat for a bit, turn on a stream of my own.
No, dude, love chatting with you. Right when I did that, I gotta take it off anyways because I got a new disc. Anytime I'm on here, you're welcome to come by and chat with me, man. I love chatting with you.
That's good.
I want to do it more with people, so I'm trying to get back into doing all that stuff. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay around for. Go ahead, buddy. Sorry.
No, I just say I'd be down anytime. And yeah, right, I was saying to Logan, because he has Elden Ring Night Rain. I think that'd be a fun game to play in trios if you're interested. I
don't have it. How much does it cost?
It's like 40. I don't think it's on sale. There's also just free games. Like, I'd kind of like to get some people to try out a shooter for like Marvel Rivals, for example. Since it's free. The antics of people trying their first shooter game. Something
and I'm terrible at it. You'll get some craziness from me because I'm terrible at them. Do you play MMOs at all? Because there's a lot of free MMOs, and they're kind of.
That's true. That is true. I haven't touched an MMO. The last one I touched was SWTOR a few years ago.
SWTOR is good, but they did this. It's kind of the opposite of what they're doing in SWTOR, where no matter what your level is, high or low, if you're level 10 and you go to level 70, it scales you up to level 70. If you're level 70 and you go to level 10, it scales you down.
In certain like raids and stuff, right?
I think it's in the most like the general areas. Raids might be just stay the same, but like when you're in general zones, like just playing the general game, like the enemies, you scale to that zone.
Yeah, but I remember that. I remember that back when I played like 4 years ago. That your level cap, they scale you in each
it's not
zone
new.
you're in.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not new. But that's what kind of killed the fun for me at that. I play Elder Scrolls Online, Lord of the Rings Online. Some of the older ones are pretty fun. And have you ever played Star Wars Galaxies?
I have not.
Okay, it's an older game. You should look into it, but it's free because it's no longer around. But it was one of the first MMOs. I think it came out before World of Warcraft, but it's still to this day one of the funnest games I've ever played. Animations or graphics are a little dated, but it's Star Wars. It's set during the original trilogy. There is like Clone Wars content and stuff. It's the most massive game I've ever played. It's Star Wars. I don't know how to describe it. I'll look one up for you and kind of like send you a video about just what it is, and you can kind of see what it's about. But I have a buddy who runs his own server. It's pretty damn fun, and I'm thinking if I quit this game, I might put a lot of time into it.
I feel like an MMO is the only kind of thing, like for someone who wants to fill the gap of this game, should this game die or whatever, an MMO is definitely the right type of game.
It's an MMO. And I'm telling you now, I think I will pretty much go to 0 personal streams on Swugga if and when they do enter this Delta thing. I'll only do the podcast, and I'm gonna pick in a couple of MMOs and just stream them all the time. So
that's fair.
Yeah, Benji in the chat right there. That's him. Yep, that's him. He's always hanging out with me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love you, Ben. So yeah, you might even see me streaming it, but I think you might like it. It's definitely grindy. It's Star Wars. It's a lot of fun. You could put thousands of hours, not even completely. I mean, there's full entire worlds, and there's also space combat. It's almost 2 games in one. There's an entire space combat gameplay and missions and everything, and there's obviously on the ground gameplay and missions. But
that sounds.
All right, brother. I'm going to let you go. We're going to go ahead and raid Big Boat, aka Egnards. He's not very good at content creating, but he has the sexiest mustache I've ever seen. So we're gonna go ahead and raid him. Tell Egnards I said hello, and
All right,
being
nice
the
talking to you, man.
All right, take care, guys. You too, buddy. Good talking to you. Like I said, anytime I'm in, man, stop by and we'll do some more talking, brother. Sorry I had to cut it short.
No, all good. All right. Yeah. Enjoy.
All right.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
You too, buddy. Peace.
All right. Hello. Hello, people in my chat. What did I do? I forgot what I was doing. What game is what? Oh, there we go. Yeah, what'd you think? What'd you think, Evan? Or anything? Oh, yeah, oh, he was talking about Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah, he was talking about Galaxies. And yeah, at first. Also, Jala, you missed my my Baldur's Gate clip yesterday, where I got 2 in the same fucking turn. I got 2 nat 1s with advantage, so I got 4 nat 1s. Hey Owie, how's it going? You want me to hop in VC? Sure. Go in VC. Thank you. Yeah, that was actually my first time running Mace, because I only got him today. Now, I am only doing this... This trio, this is the last time I'm ever doing it. I'm only doing it so I hit the 15 mil mark for the raid server achievement. I plan on running 5-man clones from here on out.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Oh god, I can still hear. Oh.
Yeah, you gotta mute the stream.
I did, but I muted. Oh, it's because I muted the TV, not the stream.
Oh. I fucked this up. I fucked this up. I fucked this up.
Alright. I guess I'll do my runs as well.
Yeah, so Relic Delta, or that whole thing. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I was just saying, with Bones, like, whoever wrote that post, whether it was Meathead, whether it was, you know, corporate, and they just gave it to Meathead to post it. First of all, welcome everyone to the chat.
I was gonna say, it felt very, not Meathead, but it didn't feel corporate. It felt very
cold.
Almost like a...
Not cold, actually, sorry. It didn't feel cold, it felt dismissive. I think. I think dismissive is the word I want to use.
I think it only comes off if dismissive if you're, like, upset about everything, and I think I'm still just, like, in the limbo period of, like, this is coming, we all know it's coming. It's just a matter of, like, what version of it gets implemented. And it feels maybe more passive and taken aback, like the emotion and the humanity is taken out of it.
Yes.
And it feels like not condescending, but like you're sitting someone down and trying to like almost have an interventional like conversation with them.
I think I would say it's the reason I'd say condescending is because almost the entire post is saying, here's the things we could do, here's the things that the community suggested, here's why we think they're wrong, and here's why we're still doing what the community doesn't want us to do. And
I see.
You know,
I feel that it's less condescending because they're actually giving their explanation as to why, like, they're like, this is the feedback we've gotten, and this is why we don't think it would work the way you want us to implement it.
The thing is, though, why wouldn't For example, rebalancing the relic levels, a new progression system. Why aren't they doing these things? Because it takes time, right? I really think it's just classic CG laziness is their motivating factor. Like,
I mean,
I was talking about
some
this
of it
with some
is,
of the
or I think some of it is, it still doesn't fix the problem. Like Relic 10 on its own doesn't fix the problem.
No.
I think Arnold made some good points of like, there's no, in terms of him interacting with the post, saying like, yeah, there's no good reason to upgrade to Relic 9 right now unless you absolutely need it for like a requirement, or unless you're like me and just trying to get teams for like the highest level of TB.
So
Otherwise,
this begs a different question.
there's no reason to engage with it other than the 5 tunes in the game that actually are influenced by relic level or get better the higher their relics are.
Yeah, so I think this begs a
So-
different question, which is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that... So, the CG answer, right? They want people to spend money, so it is a bad thing if people aren't engaging with Relic 9s or just high relics in general. But, you know, player to player, right? I don't think it's a bad thing at all that we're not super pressured. I mean, first of all, like, for endgame guilds, right? Obviously, you and I were in an endgame guild. We put a lot of effort into the raid, right? We invested a lot of relics into that raid. And specifically, I mean, I invested, personally, 8 Relic 9s, right? That's a lot of Relic 9s. Like, they... By incentivizing us to do well in the raid, you know, me and, you know, our entire guild and top guilds invested, you know, a bunch of Relic 9s. And yes, we did find ways to reduce the Relic investment. For example, what I'm running right now, the split clone teams. But they still got a lot of Relic... I was not planning on Relic 9ing this whole... I mean, maybe I wouldn't have Relic 9 the full clone team. Even putting aside the TB aspect, I don't think I would have done it, necessarily. I think I would have rather wanted to maybe R9 some more GL or something. But...
I mean, some of that, I think, is on us, if we're looking at it 100% objectively, because there's no reason for us to truly invest into something until we have the requirements in front of us. Like, you know, we did a lot of preemptive relicking, and, you know, had we waited for some of that, you know, maybe those relic levels could have been invested elsewhere in terms of, you know, the 3-man clone, you know, maybe not doing it, but also, you know, you kind of needed the 3-man clones in order to do the Arab battle, if that was something you were trying to invest for. So, like, by trying to preemptively be ready, you know, you have to understand that, yes, there's some risk management involved with, you know, preemptively upgrading these things without having any sort of true factual basis to go off of.
Well, I think another thing, right? As you said, we invest in Relic 9s when there's incentive, right? I mean, what they could do, obviously this would piss off people in early game, but just more relicated content. Right? Ever battles, obviously there's relicating on them, but more relicated... Maybe not the whole content, but like certain tiers of it, or you get better rewards if you have, you know, say Relic 9s versus Relic 5s. I think that'd be one thing.
Is that not like what the Arab battle experiment is? Like, that isn't that not the whole point of, you know, those battles, is to try and do that?
Yeah, no, I mean that's just the Arab battles, but like the Relic Delta, I don't think it's good because it's forcing, like, what's the right way to say this? I think it's gonna encourage higher relics team by team. Like, I don't think it would be as influential to, let's say, Relic 9 a bunch of good tunes rather than, like, if I want a team to hold in defense, right? I'm probably going to want to Relic 9 the whole team. But I'm not going to want to, let's say, put a Relic 9 on, like, let's say I want a Relic 9 Mon Mothma's team, right? For whatever reason. Or Saw Gerrera's team. That's relics I'm putting on them rather than, let's say, like, Starkiller or Malicos or some random influential tunes. Actually, wait. Oe said something in chat.
I'm trying to read this now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone was complaining about the state of R9s. I think they were getting in a better place, right? There was, especially, like, me, you, our guild, endgame guilds. I mean, we have a pretty good Relic 9 income without spending. And obviously, yes, it is certainly a rich get richer thing, right? We're a top 50 guild. But I think they do have a good flow of Relic 9s to everyone. And I mean, again, I put 8 Relic 9s into the Rage. And I honestly might even put more... I was considering putting more relics to round out the Mace team for TB. Now I'm not sure if I will, because I don't know if I really want to R9 my Jocasta versus R8. Or especially Ayla.
I was going to say, is there a way on wogo.gg to filter by how many, like, R9s a person has? Or, like, how many...
I know there is... This is not what you're asking, but just on the page for each character you can see. I'm not sure if that is a feature per, like, person. Or actually... maybe?
Because, like, there's a way of...
I can check after I finish this battle.
I mean, I'm on here right now, just trying to see if there's a way to maybe filter this a different way.
Oh, in Hot Utils Guild tab. Oh, you don't have it. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, the 50 mastery 100 speed thing, that was kind of funny that CG said that.
I mean, that's just a ridiculous... I mean, they're doing that. I mean, whether that's actually suggested to them or not, I mean, they're doing that to show, like, a little bit of exaggeration.
Yeah, and see, that was part of the condescendingness of the post, I think. Like, first of all, no one was saying put speed on... I saw a few people said maybe put a few speed on a Relic 10. But, like,
that's
100 speed...
the only way to truly, like, get people to become invested in those higher relics without making some other sort of relic gate.
Yeah,
but you need some other way to interact with relics, because right now there's no, other than the last 2 phases of TB and, like, the very highest level of the era battles, which were only recently introduced within the past few months, there's been no other reason to do Relic 9 other than the specific characters for
no, I agree.
Requirements, and then the very few specific tanks that get better with stats, like JML, Leia, and stuff like that. Like
but
Malik, Malgus, Reva, all that stuff.
As game designers, right? There are so many other ways they could have done.
I'm sorry, Jala said our current highest R9 holder is 68. I know I have like 55 to 57. And
who is that? Who is that, by the way?
Our lowest is 13, and the guild average is 32. Gambler has the highest.
Oh, Gambler. Okay.
But he's also got Relic 9.
He did a few more platoons and stuff. I mean, so did you.
I mean, yeah, but he also has Relic 9 Mandos for the TB mission. He's the only one that has those. I can't tell if Jal is talking to me with the 58. I think he is.
He's definitely talking to you. Okay, so I want to answer Italiano in chat. So, the reason why they're having problems, R9 is too expensive for most players, and the 2 most recent GLs have been busts while being very expensive. So, yes, I agree, but let's talk about why those GLs were busts, right? Because what I'm trying to get at here is it's a problem with how CG's been designing content. It's not about, like, they haven't been making good endgame content at all, right? Yes, there was. I remember a few years ago complaining there wasn't enough to do in the game, and now I'm of the mindset there's too much to do in the game. But there could be. I mean, first of all, if they let you sim TB or conquest, that help. But anyway, it's not good. And in terms of the 2 most recent GLs, okay, Ahsoka, right? Ahsoka, I would say overall was pretty well received in terms of the fact that she was coming to the game, right? Ahsoka is obviously a very big character in Star Wars, right? The main character of a 7-season beloved TV show, and obviously was in Rebels and had her own TV show. So I think she was a good choice for Galactic Legends. Yes, she has not been in a movie, but I think her status in Star Wars was high enough that she is worthy of a GL status. However, right, the content around her was nothing, right? I was totally expecting a Peridia raid, whether or not it was a mercenary raid or just Ahsoka Season 1. And I'm shocked that was not the raid.
I think some of that goes back to like all that content they said they had to cut because they just like do you remember that where they said like
Yes.
Bad Batch was going to have something and then they had to cut it for whatever reason, and then
Yes.
I think that whole era got like cut,
Yeah.
and then they just decided to go and double down on prequel stuff with our previous raid, with this raid, you know, because they know I think
Naboo raid
the
sucked
majority
in
of
the
I mean, Naboo had its issues. I mean, personally, I didn't mind it, but that's besides the point. But I think Arnold and you also make a strong point in that a lot of this comes back to the content that was created for Relic 9 was minimal, if any at all, and it just doesn't interact with the rest of the game, which is also what CG is saying as part of the problem, is like there's currently nothing that incentivizes people to get this content because there's nothing worth interacting with this.
Yes. So
if you design better kits that interact with relics more, like Omega or Crosshair, or you have relic gated things like the era battles, there's those incentives there. Because I mean, TB, I'm the weirdo who enjoys TB. Most people don't give a shit about it. Most people don't give a shit about it. But I see it as currently the only challenging content left in the game for like at least the highest relic planets, like the relic 8 and 9 planets. Like everything relic 7 and below is auditable at this point, at least for my size.
Oh
roster.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I auto it all too, yeah. So okay.
I mean, that's the only thing driving me right now to getting more R9s is like the eventuality of like us being like, okay, now we're eventually going to move to Scarif. And you need R9 K2, you need R9 Cassian, you need R9 Pow for a single mission, and then you need R9 Baze, R9 Chirrut, R9 Scarif Rebel Pathfinder for another mission. You need R9 Darth Vader for a mission on Death Star. You need
that mission apparently is impossible though. Just a side note. So don't do that.
Well, currently. But like a lot of things were deemed impossible originally. Just look at, GOTB when it first came out. Everyone
until
thought like
Darth Vader's next rework.
Or next nerf.
So a few things I want to respond to there. So first, So, okay, and Jesse's asked me to interpret something in chat, which I'll get to in a minute. So first, right, Ahsoka, right? There is no overall content around, and she was. So this is something I was saying earlier. I don't know if anyone was here when I was talking to Bones. I think crit immunity is a massive problem in this game at this point, and crit immunity is one of the reasons why Ahsoka feels lackluster against certain matchups, because there's so many teams with like team-wide crit immunity, specifically GL teams. And Hondo, right? Obviously, everyone knows how much, it's been talked to death how stupid pirates were overall. Obviously, that wasn't exciting for Hondo. So I think, first of all, characters that people are like, right? That you want, right? I mean, I'm sure everyone has at least one or two characters. They might not be the best character, but you're like, you know what? This is my favorite guy in the movie or whatever. I want to invest in him, right?
That was me with Qui-Gon. Like, when I first started the game, I got Qui-Gon, I got Mace. But this was also, like, back in 2017, 2018. Like, OG Qui-Gon Jinn was my first Zeta.
Uh-huh. And that was much better back then, right?
I think it had just sort of fallen out of favor. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think we were back in the evasion. I think we were back in the evasion meta, or Captain Phasma meta was still a thing because of all the assisting out of turn.
That was before my time.
But I was still like very new to the game at that point, so I still didn't understand what the meta was. Like, I wasn't on like any of the socials. I didn't follow any of the content creators. Like, Arnold at that time, I think, was still, in his like college dorm room. Like, I remember, I think one of his first videos that I saw was like, it was either the Barris kit release or it was like the General Kenobi kit release. And
then am I gonna hit 15 mil right now? Let's go, 15.3 mil in raid.
So there was all that. Yeah, so there was all that going on at the time, and then I think I think Maul. I think Darth Maul Zeta had just recently come out and was starting to destroy everybody with how awful it was with the evasion. And then I remember after that R2 came out to counter that. So I think like he was an okay Zeta at the time, but Zetas were still stupid hard to get.
So, okay. Yeah, no. So, yeah, I think characters that people want, right? Obviously, pirates, most people did not want.
I think Hondo was a character almost everybody wanted. Maybe
I would say people wanted, maybe not as a GL.
I don't know if at I was just about to say I don't know if at a GL level, but maybe like as at a legendary level, and maybe it would have been an easier pill to swallow, and it would have been an easier pill to swallow, especially since a lot of his characters that are required for him are kind of just blah. Nobody really gives a shit about.
They're complete glupshitos, yeah. Okay, so Jesse, he wants me to interpret something. I'll just read it out loud for chat. This is a quote from that post today. R9 is updated. Example. R9 is updated to add an additional 50 mastery and 100 speed. Result: the value that players receive from their prior investment, upcoming investment goals changes. Some characters come out winners, many would be losers. Different characters are impacting different degrees, which results in a fractured solution rather solidified one. The meta still shifts, potentially drastically, especially if mastery constituent stats are touched. Relic levels beyond R9 aren't directly supported, and this doesn't address the core problem of scalability. Okay, so here's what I think. One, also accounting for what else R9 does, right? R9 obviously is good for tanks. That's the other thing, right?
Like 20,000 protection onto them.
So R9 was, specifically when they first announced it, it was geared towards tanks because of protection. And now they want us to R9 everybody. But they don't. They should update R9 to be different. Maybe extra offense for attackers and extra.
That's what that's what Relic 8 is. Relic 8 is the offense boost. Relic 9 is the protection boost.
But they want everyone to R9 things. So I think
Yes,
they should
but-
adjust Relic 9. But also this thing about there would be winners and losers if they added 50 mastery and 100 speed. I don't see how any character. Obviously, you're not going to R9 the shit characters that you're never going to use, but I think any character that you are already using, and by use I mean in any of the 4 main game modes: Grand Arena, Territory Battles, Territory Wars, Raid. If you are
So
using a
my-
character in any of those game modes, based on those things, right? 50 mastery, 100 seed. Yeah, everyone would do that. So whatever CG said was kind of bullshit there.
I mean, so this is how I interpret that. Because, I mean, one, yes, 50 mastery on any character is going to be bonkers, but it's going to affect certain characters much better than others. So, like,
Yes.
Ezra, like Exile Ezra, he has evasion tied to his mastery. You give him another 50 mastery, his evasion goes up to, like, 50%.
Yes.
You know, compared to any other character. Like, the only other one that I can think of off the top of my head that has evasion on their mastery is Seventh Sister.
Hondo. Don't forget Hondo.
Does he? I haven't looked.
Not
but
only
Seventh
does
Sister-
Hondo have mastery, he has more mastery than other GLs.
But
Sorry.
but also 100 speed is going to affect different characters differently. You know, it's going to make the faster characters already more bonkers. It's going to make the slow characters like mildly better, but like most of the slow characters are tanks and don't necessarily benefit from additional speed. Droideka, you know,
Yeah.
gets
Well, Droideka's like
gets
one
worse.
exception. Yeah.
Droideka gets worse with more speed because he does
Yes.
less damage. So the winners and losers in that post, I believe, refer to, you know, all of your meta teams and all of your teams that, you know, you've finally gotten to Relic 8 or 9 and don't want to upgrade anymore because they've already finally hit their hit their cap, and you can finally start investing into the other, you know, fun project teams as opposed to just sitting there trying to catch up. All this does is move that back to now I have to go back to, you know, investing in all the teams that I need to invest in, not the teams that I want to invest in.
But that's what they're doing anyway. That's what the games are doing.
Well, I
anyway.
mean,
it's always been about. Yeah.
I mean, granted, Relic 10 is going to do the same thing because now you have to go back and Relic up everything again.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think the core part of what they're trying to argue is that even if we make this adjustment to Relic 9, all it does is shift where the problem is. It doesn't fix the problem. It's like kicking the can down the road.
So I agree with that. First of all,
And that's
Jala in chat.
and I think that's the argument that they're trying to make, is that all of these things that you guys have suggested just kick the can. They don't address the underlying like issue. It's like putting a band-aid on a wound.
Yeah.
But the wound's already infected. The band-aid's not going to do anything.
So yeah, Jala's suggestion, a prestige system. Interesting. So I agree that it's a band-aid on the wound, but I do think the solution is just a new progression system, which I think they just don't want to make. I think, again, this all loops back to the same thing, which is CG being lazy. Okay, you know what? Let me pause, because Italiano, you are correct. So, you're correct. So, okay. So, we're having this conversation, right? You are the #1 GP in our guild. I am around average, around the median for our guild, but we are a top 50 guild. And we're not acknowledging that directly. We are in the top 3,000 players of this game by GP. And this game has hundreds of thousands, I think like 300,000 to 400,000 players. So we are definitely talking from a 1% perspective. But there is a good point in chat, right? First of all, you know, since I own the Alliance server, right, I talk to the other guilds. I talk in their chats, and also I give advice to the other leaders and stuff. They are certainly not at a loss for what to relic. Now, the thing is, CG obviously doesn't care about most of the population in this game, right? They care about people like us, who are the spenders, who are the endgame players. The end of the endgame players. And first of all, this conversation is definitely coming from I guess in a sense privilege, but also just of endgame, right? That for us, yes, we don't have much incentive to R9 more things because we already have mostly good ones. But for most players, they are picking and choosing their Relic 9s. And now they're being told Relic 9 everyone. And also Jesse saying, it seems where they screwed up was making Relic levels not linear or exponential in the first place rather than have... It seems what it was by making Relic levels not linear or exponential upgrades in the first place, rather than having them impact different stats at different levels. I
don't know if I entirely understand that, but I think, at least from the post that CG placed or put out there, they said relics were necessary to fix the gear issue, which I understand.
Yes, I understand.
So, relics were necessary to fix how bad gear was because of the stats that are tied to gear. And so it makes it easier to fine-tune a unit with relics than it does with gear.
Oh, no, but Jesse's saying, okay, think, R8 shouldn't be the attacker one, R9 shouldn't be the tank one.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the way... Yeah, but the way higher level relics affect tunes is also just... At the end of the day, they just have core fundamental issues with the way that the game has been designed. And now they're trying to go back and fundamentally fix those issues. But it's difficult without leveling the entirety of... It's like trying to fix the foundation in your house.
Yes, and that is a major issue that CG is basically saying they're not going to try to fix.
The best way to fix that would be to level the house, redo your foundation, but it's unrealistic. So
I agree with that.
So now we're trying to find the next best solution of how do I fix the foundation.
But I think the next best solution, right, is, for example, right, early in the game, you had the sim mats were hard to come by. Then gear levels were the big thing. Now, right, who gives a fuck gear 1 versus gear 12? You fight a relic character, you're losing. Pretty much always.
But that comes with the power creep of the game. And a lot of these problems that people have become non-problems the longer you play the game. And I think that's part of the issue, is people just don't want to invest the time. Max was a very new addition to the game, and that's why his GP is so low, but he has invested, money to compensate.
I mean, he's invested a lot of money into the game.
But for me, being an almost day one player, I would say let's call it year one player, but maybe within the first few months of the game came out, eventually, just because of time and collecting resources throughout the game and playing it every goddamn day, I've gotten all the Zetas, I've gotten almost all of the Omicrons, I've gotten all the Chirotechs, I've gotten all the characters in the game.
Well, you spend a lot too, to be fair. You spend a lot too.
I mean, I only within the past year. I was almost free to play up until Gungans and Queen Amidala came out.
Were you? I guess I don't remember you. That's
because I didn't join until right before then. But but my account was big because of the amount of time I just physically put into the game and how long I've been playing.
You were here early, right?
Yeah, and so that's one of the benefits that I have, and people don't understand that you need to put the time in to get to that point as well, unless you want to spend money. So, the Cairo crunch, once you've gotten all the characters, all the Kairos they need, I've got 5,000 Kairos sitting in my account not doing shit. So
well, again, yes, I mean, I'm in a similar boat, but we are the 1%.
But this is an end of the end game player problem.
Yes, it is an end of the end game player problem.
And that's what they're trying to address. But
they're trying to. I agree with that. They are trying to address it, but they are hurting the other 98%.
I would love Jala for Kairos to be one of the gear mats for droid brains. But you're
yeah,
already you're gonna get people complaining because they're like, oh well, how are we supposed to get Relic 10 if we have to increase all these other characters with the Kairos? Like, if you have a Cairo problem, you're not an R10 player to begin with. Like, focus on the things you need to be focusing on.
Well,
like moving from mid game to end game, as opposed to
So, okay, so. Right,
and
let's
so I
say
think there's
CG...
a priority difference that people don't understand. Like, if you're a mid-game player, like right now we're talking about end-game player problems. So
yes, we are talking.
So if you're still working on trying to get like your R10s or your you shouldn't be worried about trying to get to R10 if you still need to get like unlock a GL or something like that.
Well, okay, so a few things there.
Sure, you need a couple of maybe R10s to like deal with like Grand Arena.
Delta? To overcome Relic Delta?
But, I mean, realistically, you're going to be fighting people in the same position as you. So they shouldn't be having, 5+ relics on you. Otherwise, they're just in the wrong spot of the game.
Well, so...
And this is another way to move people to where they're supposed to be.
So here's the thing, though. Right? I think most of what you're saying, I agree with, but what is that? The one thing we're not talking about was what is that going to do to the game, right? So as you just said, right, this is kind of, in a sense, putting mid to lower game players in their place, right? You're not gonna catch up, right? We're pushing you back, right? You're gonna lose your Grand Arena, your TWs to sandbaggers, to guilds to players with higher, like a player who maybe drops down a few divisions and then they want to climb back up, but they have a bunch of relics. You're going to lose to them. But what is that going to do to those players, right? They're going to quit. They're going to, first, if they're spending, they're going to stop spending because they realize, hey, if I'm not, and this is kind of going to what Italiano was saying, I know I'm not going to catch up, right? What's the point of me spending any money? Let me just be free to play. That's the first thing that's going to happen. The second thing is people are going to get too discouraged and quit. And, this game, is its finances, built up by, the 1% of this game? Of course, right? I mean, in our guild alone, every time a new character drops, they're making thousands and thousands of dollars. No doubt about it. For just our guild. And, the guilds where there's spending mandatory, they're making tens of thousands of dollars probably every time a character drops. Especially a GL, that's a big payday for them. But
yeah,
if the early and mid game dies, the community is dead. And that's the thing that worries me, right? Like, honestly, and I know there are people in this chat who are from other guilds in our alliance. I am more worried for, like, Spectral Phoenix. And I know, Jesse, I don't know if you're still in chat. I am very worried for them. Specifically, they are approaching what I would consider the endgame. Maybe they'd consider themselves endgame. I personally wouldn't. But they're almost at the endgame. And I think people like them, they're a competitive guild. They're trying really hard. They're going to get fucked over the most. Because, right, let's be real. Our guild... we sandbag TW, but we don't do it maliciously, right? We just tell people, if you're not going to play, don't sign up. That is sandbagging, right? Based on the definition. It's not malicious, but we completely fucked over the last few guilds. And I felt bad about it. I mean, that's the matchmaking, right? That's a whole nother problem. But
at the end of the day, it's still a core gameplay problem, or it's just a game design problem.
It is a game design problem. But, like, let's say we fight another... The guild we just fought, right? They didn't even have Datacrons. With Relic Delta, I don't even know if we would have had to attack, like, a single team and defeat a single team. And I don't think they would have cleared, like, they didn't even clear a wall, right? I don't even know if they would have taken down, like, 3 teams if Relic Delta was already in effect. I feel like we just needed to auto a few, right? They had a bunch of random walls, so just kill a few random things. If we face another guild in the Alliance... they might not clear a single team. And same general gist in a lopsided Grand Arena matchup. And that is going to kill the community fast. And right, as Italiano said, they're putting Overpower in MSF on pause because this is exactly what happened. It killed off the early game, it killed off the mid game. It killed off right, I think 100,000 people quit Marvel Strike Force. I mean, that's the community right there, right? Like, yes, in our own little niche of a guild and the end game will survive, but then there's no, what's left of the game, right? From what I've seen, like, this is a related problem, but like certain like shooter games, the end game, community is certainly what brings people to Twitch and YouTube and whatever, but there's no community left for the game, and it's just the same people playing against each other over and over and over again, and then they get bored, and when they get bored, the game's done. And I think that is more than likely to happen, considering that just happened to Marvel Strike Force when they implemented the exact same system. There's a bit of monologue there.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing CG has like going for them is they got to watch the Marvel overpowered system fail, so they know, like, they have at least a case study to, like, okay, where did they go wrong?
So
and
I'm gonna look up overpowered. Yeah, keep talking.
To at least try and help influence their, decision making. And like even in their post they said, it's going to roll out and we're going to make adjustments as needed. So it's not like this is going to be thrown in and then just abandoned. Like,
okay, so I just pulled up the
they
post.
understand like there might be a rough rollout and they're going to do what they can to try and adjust it. So I feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm a little too optimistic. And I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I also understand that, the early game and mid game is much different now than when I was back in those days.
Is from what I just see.
I'm also just speaking from my experience back in the early and mid game, and like having been here long enough, time gets you to catch up. But also that's when they were like releasing like maybe 1 or 2 characters a year as opposed to 1 or 2 characters per week.
Yeah, now they're doing, I mean,
so
4 characters a year.
So one of my arguments was going to be like, you're going to catch up just through time. But at the rate that they're going, that might not be a viable option anymore.
Yeah, so let me just read you. Okay, so Overpower was introduced April 2nd of this year. Now, I've never played Marvel Strike Force. I'm gonna. So yeah. So whatever, they just introduced a new gear tier. Whatever ISO purple is, I assume that's similar to relics. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in chat. They say there's 12 ranks of Overpower, and they unlocks at different things, at different levels and gear levels and ISO 8 levels. And they say it's vague what it does exactly. A modest tier 1 bonus, a modest but meaningful boost to power. It should feel good if you've upgraded that character to level 105 and are fighting someone who's level 100. Tier 2, bigger bonus than Tier 1, will feel fairly strong at battle. Tier 3, biggest bonus. It won't overcome a bad matchup, but it'll make a difference in most battles. The attacker must be 3 progression ranks ahead for this to kick in. So if you've had a max progression character today, you need to fight someone that's behind these. It won't be common. Oh, okay, so there's 12 levels of it, and it's a 3 rank difference. That's their delta. And they basically say with 1 overpower rank higher, that character gains 50% damage and 50% focus, whatever that is. So it sounds like a very, very similar system. Just assuming the parallels, right? The ISO levels being relics and whatever, right? It's damage and stats.
It sounds like a wider net, or like a less narrow system. Because like for them, one difference is 50%, whereas currently for us, one difference is like 10%.
So yeah, it does seem at least in terms of damage, but I don't know what focus is. I don't know if focus is.
I don't. I was gonna say that might be like their magic level, but I don't. Because I'm trying to think of like what focus does in other Marvel games. But I.
Someone's saying in chat it's basically the exact same thing. Yeah, I mean, obviously the levels might not be the same, but my point is that system sounds basically exactly the same, except that there's still that Marvel Strike Force seems to have multiple modes of progression, being both levels and gear and their equivalent of relics, and that they're accounting for all these things. Versus us, the only thing in this game that matters is the attacker's focus divided by the defender's resistance gives you the probability of applying a negative effect. Oh, so focus is potency, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's it. Okay, so it increases their focus and potency. Interesting. Which also means, well, tenacity at the same time, right? That sucks. That sucks. Obviously, in this game, they're just focused on damage, which is obviously the most important thing. Yeah, so these systems sound pretty damn similar. And, I mean, the effects are very detrimental to that game. And, like, I also, in terms of the post today, right? Why? Right? I don't know, whoever wrote that post, again, whether it's Meathead, whether it's someone corporate and Meathead had to post it under his name, why the fuck would you announce this Relic Delta, right? Which is all about the difference between Relic levels, and Relic 10 in the same post, right? The thing we've been waiting for years. And then shoehorn at the very end, oh, there's some new content coming. We're not going to give you a single detail, but oh, there's some content coming. Why would you do that all in the same post? Again, what I was saying when I was with Bones earlier, what they should have done, the day they announced Relic Delta, I platooned R2-D2, what they should have done is announce, hey, we're opening up the faucet a bit, you're getting some more relics. Whether that's increasing the drop rates, a new accessible game mode, something to get more relics, especially for early and mid-game players, or, you know, just something in general, right? Maybe it's a new event, a new game mode, but something that you can get more relics. And then, maybe for the anniversary in November, say, hey, we're introducing this new system. I think it would still go
probably
over.
When it's coming.
Yes, but I think if they started by saying, hey, we're giving you guys more relics, we're letting you get them, it would have been an easier pill to swallow, and maybe would have had, I mean, there still would have been a lot of backlash.
Well, I mean,
I think, personally, I would be
if they open up the faucet,
opposed.
then you automatically know something bad is coming. So this way, they just hit you with the bad news first and said, you know, hey, this is, you know, there's going to be another relic level, and then, but we're also going to open up the faucet.
But at least they're giving us that, right? This is, they started with Relic Delta, then they make this post where they basically say, you know, we're still doing it anyway, here's why. Then they say, Relic 10, and then they say, oh, new event, no details.
I mean, to be fair, they led with, you know, the fact that they were going to open up the faucet. It was like the second paragraph, and then came all the Relic Delta stuff.
With no details, though. That's the thing. If they had
but
some details.
I mean, I think the thing is, like, you know, we're expecting details, but it's still in the playtest phase. So, like, what details can they really give us? Without us being like, well, this is what you said, and then hold them to that and be like, well, and, like, you know, throw them on the crucifix while they're still in playtest and, like, adjusting things.
But here's the thing. They had, you know, they had numbers for Relic Delta, right? It's just something. Like, they could have given us, if they said in that post, right, there's a new game mode that's giving you relics, right? If they just said that one sentence, instead of just we're opening the faucet, if there's a new game mode, first of all, welcome everyone, chat. Oh wow, we got 11 people in here. Welcome, chat. Hope you're all having a good night. We're pretty deep into a Relic Delta discussion, as I'm sure everyone's been. I was talking to Egnards a little earlier and some other people. If they said in that post, the original Relic Delta post, we are giving you a new game mode to get you more relics, that would have been so much better. Because my main issue for it is it's not content, right? Datacrons, right? It changes things up. Yes, you can earn them. There's cool stuff you can do with them. Obviously, some of them are broken, whatever. But there is something cool about it. There's excitement about it. It changes things up. And I think Datacrons, overall, were pretty good for the game. Yes, it was a rich get richer thing, but it adds variety to gameplay. There's some cool stuff you can do with it. First of all, we never got the raid datacrons and the TP datacrons that were data mined. Side note. But this is just straight up, we're changing how much damage you deal and take. And it's just a passive thing. If they said, we've been developing a new cool game mode, right? We haven't had a new game mode. Since I've been playing this game for 7 or so years, we have not had a new game mode, right? It's been TW, Raid, TB, Grand Arena. Or Grand Arena, I guess, was the only thing that they added since I started playing this game. If they said, hey, we've been working this cool new game mode, that, again, would have been much better, because it's the intention behind the post, right? They were just saying, hey, we're making this change. Instead of, hey, we're doing some cool new stuff, and because, there's going to be so many more relics, right? We're oversaturating the market with relics. We want to do this thing to encourage the best of the best, right? If they increased relic drop rates across the board, let's say, by 500%, I'm just throwing a number out there, for every part of the game, right? So it's still a rich get richer scenario, right? The more you invest, both money and time into the game, the more you get. But let's say 5 times the relic drops. And Relic Delta, I think very few people would have a problem with it. Because now you can relic a shit ton of characters. Maybe it's like 500 times for relics 1 through 7, and 2 times for Relic 8 and 9. That way, it's still, the top 1% stays the top 1%, but relics 1 to 7 are much easier. I think that would make things go down a lot smoother. But they didn't. They just said, we're doing this, oh yeah, here's some things that might happen later. We might give you some more relics, with no details. So, I think, as I was saying, I've said this a few times, a big part of it was a PR thing. They just did not say, and I also, I've recently gotten to know some of these streamers and stuff. I'm in a server with a few of the big names, even though I'm basically a nobody. Thank you, Agnards, for inviting me. First of all, they got a lot of shit when the Relic Delta announcement, which was not their fault. But I feel like CG did partially dump the blame onto the content creators who were the messengers. Again, what I'm saying right now is completely separate to everything we've been discussing for the past hour and a half. But
I mean, to be fair, content creators have a way of exaggerating things to bring content into their channels, or to bring viewers into their channels.
Yes.
So I do want to just caveat that, but I also do agree that CG could have been better about how they went about PR for dropping Relic Delta. Like, I think if they had opened up with like this is what's coming to the game, and also followed up with the here's why it's coming to the game, like this post and the last post all in one, maybe without like all of the feedback section of like the things that are like all the community suggestions, because they wouldn't have had that information at the time. I think it would have made more sense to people, and maybe also gone down easier as to why. But I think people are also just concerned about, like, most people are still pretty far behind in the game because they're, only been here for maybe a few years in the game, as opposed to like the legacy players who have been here since year one. like myself, Arnold, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, this is more just like the end game shifts a little bit further away from us, like the goalpost.
Yes.
But we can still see like the goal. But like for most players, I understand like they had the goalpost at the horizon and now it's beyond the horizon. But
Yes.
I think you're like, so maybe it's a little bit feels bad, but at the same time, it's like that's not a problem you should be worrying about right now. It's still a problem of like focus on what's immediately in front of you.
Which, yes, except from their point of view, that sucks, right?
And that's what I'm saying about the feels bad man aspect of it. Like, yes, the goalpost got moved, but the goalpost is always going to be moved. This is not a game that came out 20 years ago, where they can't update anything anymore. Ever since the advent of online gaming, like you're gonna get, or like live service gaming, you're gonna get tweaks. You're gonna get things that are moved.
This feels like a very big correction. Also, okay, we got a few comments in chat. I just want to be sure we're addressing.
But you also do need a big change to fix like a core foundational problem in the game. Like, I don't think something small is going to fix. Like,
no, I agree with that.
Issue with core gameplay development.
I think there are other ways. Okay, wait. So, Talia, I know people. I don't want a straight collector game. I don't think most of the community does. Yeah, I mean, one of my issues with a lot of the game is that I agree with that. I want to be able to use my characters. And I feel like I don't get to use... Even some of the new characters, I don't get to use them all that much. And Nike was saying, it doesn't encourage the 1% to spend more. If they already have every tune, they're only buying the new tunes, and that 1% is a huge portion of the revenue. R10 doesn't change much unless their plans just to keep adding them periodically. Yeah, I mean, I guess for people who already have a shit ton of R8s and 9s, yeah, it doesn't... It's just the same shit of keep doing some more Relic 9s. Of course, it encourages you to get more of them faster, but that's about it. And
I mean, some of this was also addressed in the post. Like, they say they're not trying to take away like the strategy aspect of the game. They're just saying like there's no reason a Gear 12 Malico should be beating a Relic 8 Ray. That was the example they gave. And I also agree with that. There's no reason a Relic or a non-Relic character should be beating a high Relic character.
It was funny. I was actually talking... So that was a content creator by the name of Taberm. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but he was actually talking about, hey, that was me. Yes, that. I mean, first of all, that feels like a bit of a fringe case. I do agree with that. I do agree with that statement, though. I do agree with that statement. I don't think a non-Relic character should be beating a Relic character. But
we also talked about this yesterday on stream, like, or was it 2 days ago? I can't remember. Like, there should be a certain Relic level cutoff where, like a Relic 1 through 3 should not be beating a Relic 7, 8, 9. At least consistently.
I mean, I don't fully agree. Like Phoenix, right? Phoenix and Reva, I think, are a very good example of this. Right? Phoenix is...
Yes, there
Phoenix
should be
just fundamentally
core... Yeah, but at a certain point, you're going to get past kit mechanics and get into pure stats. Like, at some point, stats will take over.
I think
core gameplay kit mechanics.
I think CG just needs to really like I think they just need a new progression system. And that's their job,
well, that's
right?
What Relic's for.
No, but something else. They need something else, right? I mean, that Marvel Strike Force post, they listed 3 things. It sounds like they're still updating. There's gear and levels and relics in Marvel Strike Force, and they keep moving all those things up. Don't necessarily need that, but something new, right? If they want to do the relic abilities that they first considered back when relics were first announced. If they want to, like...
We still have some of that, except ours aren't gear, relics, and whatever the last thing was.
But just...
we have relics, mods, and datacrons.
Yes, and they need something else. I'm not a game designer, so I don't have any examples off the top of my head. But that's their job, right? They've made over $2 billion in this game. It's their job to come up with a system that's fun, right? Fun, engaging. Tie that to a new game mode, right? Maybe it's some type of So, for example, I'm gonna make an example with one of my favorite games, Elden Ring. In Elden Ring, in the DLC of Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, they added a new progression system. Now, it's a kind of controversial one, and as I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like a Relic Delta scenario, which is not helping my argument. It's basically you collect these things called Shadow Tree fragments, and it's fuck. No, that's a terrible example for my point, because literally all it does is give you percentage damage reduction and damage dealt increases. Fuck. Oh my god, no. Fuck.
But I mean, in terms of like other types of game modes, realistically, what more can you add to the game?
Okay,
you have
so
solo player versus player in a competitive sense with Grand Arena. You have competitive guild versus guild PvP with Territory Wars. You've got competitive, player versus or guild versus environment with TB, and then you've got competitive solo experience in raid and with all the other like single player events that are in the game. So realistically, what other category could you possibly add?
Okay, so I'm going to go in a completely different direction here. I'm going to answer your question, but I'm not going to say something you're thinking. Cosmetics.
Oh god. But then how would they design a new character if they added cosmetics? That's half of the game design is adding different cosmetic to a character.
That's not my problem.
Developing a kit around it. Just look at the 10 Hans we have in the game.
Like, if the goal is obviously to get money, right? I mean, if they just
at no point...
I know they said they never want to do cosmetics.
At no point have they said, this is all about money. They've said invest, but you can invest things other than money. You can invest time into the game.
Of course it's all about money. Of course it's about money. I mean, it's
Relic Delta
game.
Isn't going to affect anyone who doesn't spend money, or it's not encouraging anyone who doesn't spend money to start spending money.
Well, of course it is. It's trying to get them to buy more relics.
But if you're not going to spend before, is your financial situation going to change where you're going to start spending now? No, you're just going to quit.
That's the issue. That people are going to quit.
So if they really wanted to do this, or if they really wanted to milk people and like get more money, they would have added Relic 10 in a long time ago. But they said they didn't want to because there was no point in doing so.
Which they changed their minds on, but today. But,
well, that was at the time. Like now, they're like, okay, well, I guess they're going to have actual content that will engage with R9 and R10.
Yeah, I mean,
in these new modes.
Yeah. What about in so in endless mode, right? That's something we've all talked about. Endless mode, just endless battles, and it could kind of be like Conquest. First of all, it can be an optional game mode, or as Jal is saying, a weekly or monthly set of challenges. First of all, this is gonna kind of be like Relic Delta, but for this event, give us upgrades that, or maybe even like resistance to special damage. Yeah, but Galactic Challenges are a one-off.
It's bi-weekly.
But
it's endlessly replayable.
I'm saying like a
and
Conquest.
It gives you stuff to help push your teams.
First of all, I think one thing with Conquest is the enemy modifiers are very bland. The most common one is what? The overprepared, which is just more stats. Yeah, what Jal is saying is like
what is an endless mode going to do? Have 0 stats and you're just fighting? That's just galactic war. You know, the thing that we all sim every fucking day for the 1,200 points.
but one that actually like is worth playing with challenge, right? I think some of the best fights in this game are mechanic-based fights and journey guides. A few mechanic-based fights, and sure, you can just throw in, basically have a mini conquest. But have, there could be a theme to it. Maybe there could be some item or some kind of just mini progression, almost like in a roguelike. I guess that's kind of like Conquest data discs. Or maybe like something that amplifies one stat, right? Maybe one team, like the boss of the week, is an evasion-heavy team. So you need to like get the little upgrades that increase your accuracy. Yeah, Italiano. Wait. The best content's mechanic-based? I mean, I think... Okay, I don't know if this is a hot take. I think this game is fundamentally boring. Because...
I was going to say, in contrast to your point, I think the mechanics-based parts of the Heroes challenges and the Conquest Journey Guide stuff has been the most obnoxious part of the game. Where you have to
That's because they overtune it. That's because they overtune it.
Remod fucking Wampa for like tenacity just to not get stun locked by CLS, and then you have to like throw on all your ridiculous relics and
the journey guides
to make sure he doesn't get.
Yeah, those have been annoying as fuck. Like the CLS event, the Jedi Luke event, I agree was terrible. But with actual balancing and not just making it hard for the sake of hard, could be pretty cool. Like, I like... I mean, also kits have been getting very complicated, but like, the Ray and Ben mechanic, right? Where you have to get one below half health to kill the other, but whatever. I think that's kind of cool. So I have to think a bit besides auto or just press the button to the right. I like...
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, that comes under...
Yeah.
That comes under core design development issues.
Yes, and I mean... Yes, this game is fundamentally not a great game.
And I think they're trying to get better about it. And I think that's what Relic Delta is a little bit supposed to do. Is it's supposed to help the high end of things in terms of making Relic 9 a better investment and a better worth your time and a better worth your resources. But at the end of the day, they do have a fundamental issue with the core foundational aspects of the game.
Yeah,
are just,
and
there's a bunch of crap.
I don't envy
CG.
Yeah, I don't envy CG for being in a situation where they have.
And these are not the original developers. This is like Gen 2 or Gen 3 of the developers who are on this game.
They have a fundamentally mediocre game to build upon, and they have years and years of stuff that they can't undo. Like, for example, Marvel Rivals, right? That's a game I mean,
I think they're doing a better job than the game has done in like that very significant lull from like 3 years ago, where there was just nothing.
Yes,
it was like I think it was like right after Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan and like the
and there was like nothing for a long time,
and then like the first generation of Galactic Legends,
like,
but then there was just nothing.
Marvel Rivals.
There wasn't even any interaction from the
no, there's nothing. I remember
or clarity
that.
from the devs.
But like one thing
they were going through that
does,
Overwatch 1 phase.
Yeah, they have like every half a season they have team ups where if you play 2 or 3 of specific characters in the same team, you get a new mechanic. For example, for anyone who knows Marvel, Scarlet Witch, right? Oh my god, I pressed the wrong button. Scarlet Witch. She, without her team up, is pretty mediocre. With Doctor Strange, she gets basically a machine gun of magic. And the other Marvel character, Magic, Magik, also has a team with Doctor Strange now, where she gets this ability where she can bind enemies to the ground, basically like a stun. And these are temporary powers that you get for being on the same team that fundamentally change gameplay. And yes, I realize, as I'm saying it, I'm describing Datacrons. But
I mean, also some of that comes in with kit interactions, like with BT getting his second special if Trip is on the team or alive.
Yeah. I think
so like
incentivizing
it goes back
things
to
like that.
character design as well.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and one thing you
gameplay.
said earlier,
And I think that's what like a lot of people are saying is like, yes, there are issues. Yes, they need to be addressed. Are we addressing them the right way? Maybe, maybe not. But I think the amount of hate coming out for Relic Deltas is maybe more than necessary.
Well,
and people are going to expect it to affect more things than maybe it actually will.
Well, one thing you said earlier that I didn't respond to that I want to. One thing you pointed out that I agreed with is certain characters' kits that incentivize relics. Like with some of the members on the new Bad Batch team and like Marin and stuff. I think that is the absolute best way to encourage more relics. Right? I mean, let me just pull up Omega Fugitive. Right? Big Sister ability, they recover an additional 15% protection per Omega's relic ability, but that also reduces cooldowns. That ability is a pretty damn good ability. Oh, and One Way Out, Our Way Out, also same deal with turn meter. Who's the other one? Crosshair, right? What's his thing?
I think he gets more damage or something like that.
I believe so. I'm trying to find it. Where's the ability? Is it in his unique? Oh, right here. His first special deals 10% more damage for each relic level. That one's a little less, or I guess visually impactful, but I think those things are the best way to incentivize investment in a character, right? It's thoughtful, it requires effort. In the case of existing teams, it require reworks, but I think that is the best path forward. And also, Nike in chat. Oh, Jar Jar as well. Yeah, Marin. I remember was the first one.
I don't know. Did Marin come out first, or did Tuscans come out first?
Oh, true. Tuscans have that too. Yeah, you're right.
So like the Tuscans have it with the damage over times based on relic level. Jar Jar has it for every 3 relic levels. Right. He gets an additional shield generator charge.
Yes.
Marin gets additional plagues based on her relic levels.
Okay. See that that is what this game should be striving for, right? I think.
But then other characters like Malgus get, bonus true damage based on health, which scales with relic levels, and
of course also every Galactic Legend has the Galactic Legend unique.
Yeah.
But I think that's the way to go. And yes, it requires time and effort and investment from CG. That's why they don't want to do it. As a major overhaul of, let's say, most of the characters in the game. Now they have over 300. But I think that is the ideal. Like, if they don't want to add new game modes, they don't want to rework core gameplay mechanics, they don't want to add a new progression system, just add a new clause to abilities.
Instead of that, they just make a new character that helps interact with other things better, or old content.
Yeah,
better.
Or that too. And obviously they've been reworking teams by just adding a new character to it.
Yeah. I mean, or they could go back on the whole Omicron philosophy where it used to be like, they gave it to legacy characters to help bring them back into relevancy.
I just had an idea. Here's a new progression system. Choose a different Greek word.
Now we're going to Sigmas, guys.
Yeah. I mean, what? We have Zeta, we have Omicron. I guess that's it. Yeah, I mean, choose a different Greek letter. Alpha. You have alpha abilities. What do they do?
I think
they enable... What?
Aren't there... I was going to say, all of my ships are upgraded all the way, so I can't see the relic or the pieces for the ships.
Oh, what those things are called? I know there's Omegas in the game already.
Omegas... Oh, it's just a ship Omega, is what it is.
Okay. So, add a new thing that turns on an Omicron in every game mode. Or, for each game mode, right? Let's say you have a Grand Arena Omicron. You have your Alpha ability turns it on in TW. Your Beta ability turns it on in TB. The next Greek letter in the alphabet is
turns it on.
Delta. Your Delta ability turns it on for Rage. Something like I think that would be, yes, it's a rich get richer scenario, right? You can buy them.
Then how are you going to milk Datacrons then?
Milk Datacrons? I mean, Datacrons are still, or you can't ignore a Datacron.
Well, I'm saying that those current things that you're saying are already being built into Datacrons, like with Wampa's Datacron allowing him to use.
I don't think that would stop Datacron investment at all. I mean, because then you have an additional buff on top of it, right? But like, I think that would be maybe even mix it in with Jala's idea over here of this this like super Grand Arena weekly challenge thing. Like that's how you get it. If you complete the weekly challenge, which is gonna require, the newest team or whatever, I don't know, or a certain relic level to step into it, then you can get the new ability materials that turn on your Omicrons in other game modes.
I still think you're going to get the same pushback from the mid to lower level players.
Yes, but at least
I think are the people who are complaining the most about this right now.
I mean, but this gives content. It gives.
I mean, does it though? If they still can't interact with it, even though they're the ones complaining?
Of course, it depends how. I mean, I would not say it's just the mid and lower tier. I mean, look at our own guild. Look at me. Look at content creators who spend a lot of money on. I'd say it's a super majority opinion, at least out of the vocal people, of course. I'm sure a lot of people just aren't aware of what's going on, but out of the people who are, most don't like it. But what I'm saying here, it gives new content, a new progression system. Obviously, you can monetize it. It does not invalidate other things, right? You'd want to pump relics on these characters with these new, basically, super Zetas. And it doesn't fuck with anything that's already in the game. It just requires more investment. Or coding to turn on Omicrons in different game modes. In chat, what do you guys think of that idea? And what do you think of that idea?
I don't know. I feel like it still doesn't address the issues that CGs are trying to address. I think it's just trying to fix a totally separate problem, or at least cause more engagement with it. Because, like,
well, I mean, maybe it's also tied to relic levels.
Thing right now, it doesn't sound any different than like assault battles or era battles to me, from the way that, at least I'm interpreting this most recent comment.
No, it doesn't seem much different at all. But I think the difference is it's not tied to the marquees. It's tied to your roster depth. And maybe they emphasize a different team.
But that's what assault battles are. That's what assault battles are. I mean, they're the OG era battles, and they're not tied to roster depth, or they are tied to roster depth, not the newest character. But once you've, simmed that once, you just start simming it over and over again.
Well, I mean, you have different challenges every week.
So then how's that any different than GA or the Galactic Challenge? I mean, there's the featured team, but you don't have to use the featured team.
Because it's not just one battle, right? The thing about Galactic Challenge, you can usually do it in usually 1 to 2 teams, 1 to 2 battles, and then you just forget it. But this is like a multiple battle.
So then we're looking at Galactic Battles, which the amped up version of Galactic Battles is Conquest.
It's like basically like each tier has a different requirements to complete. So you're saying like tier 1 is like bounty hunters, tier 2 is Jedi Vanguard, tier 3 is Bad Batch. Kind of like a series of galactic challenges, pretty much, strung together for rewards. Maybe with some degree of modifier, or also like modifiers, or maybe even conquest data discs put in there. Is that what you're saying? Okay, yes.
Okay. I mean,
that sounds pretty cool to me.
I mean, yes, it's still something new and engaging, but it doesn't affect, like, that sounds more like, okay, now I have to go farm other characters that I didn't want to farm before, which is another issue that people have.
Well, here's the thing.
But
I mean,
it doesn't make me want to relic up anything anymore if it's just the requirement is, oh, I need a different team. Like, how's that?
Well, why not? I mean,
or is it like, okay, now I need relic 4 bounty hunters to go into like tier 3, or like
that's what I'd assume it is.
Relic 5 Jedi Vanguard to go into tier 4.
Yes,
but then
I'd assume it. Yes, exactly like.
But now you're having to relic or farm a bunch of teams and then relic a bunch of different teams. That seems more like exacerbating the problem than solving the problem.
Well, one, that encourages roster depth, which I think is what the game should be doing. And two, it's incentivizing roster depth, which I think the game should be doing. And I think Relic Deltas is... and some degree of meaningful rewards. I mean, you know, whatever that may be, relics or Omicron mats or whatever.
I think meaningful is dependent on where you are in the game.
Yes, true. That's true. I guess I shouldn't try to give blanket definitions of meaningful.
Because for me, right now, the only meaningful reward I have are relic mats and Omicron pieces.
Yeah, I mean, that's the case for most endgame people. But...
or just a better conversion rate in the goddamn scavenger.
But yeah, I think... yeah, true. Like the higher tiers you go up, the more it's geared towards late game. So then everyone's getting something, and the further you are, the more you get. I think that...
I mean, that still sounds like the era battle rewards.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you know, whatever CG's new game mode is going to be, it's probably not going to be different than some form of assault battle or conquest at the end of the day, right? Like, they don't have all that much. The most unique thing they put in this game was the Endor raid, which everyone hated because it was a decent concept executed terribly.
Well, it doubles down on two things that people hate the most: remodding and visual pollution.
Yes. But that was the most unique content this game has put out in a very long time.
And it was widely hated.
It was widely hated because it sucked. But so my reason in saying this is that whatever this new game mode is, it's not going to be much different than anything we really have, right? Because the most unique thing they tried was terrible and everyone hated it. Right? It's going to be basically like a light version of... yeah.
The point you were trying to make 30 minutes ago was that we need another game mode.
Well, because they are making a new game mode. I'm trying to say how...
So, like, do we need another game mode, or do we just need something that works better for what we already have?
Both. Like, I do want to see... I think this weekly challenges idea, I would like that. And run them when Conquest is not running. Right? So, if you run at the same time, then there's way too much to do. But run it...
so then we just have Conquest 2.0 on weeks when we don't have Conquest.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be as long. Like, if it's let's say 15 battles, right? Progressively harder. Let's say it runs for the 2 weeks. So you have a little bit of time to gear up a team if you're, you know, let's say you need a Relic 7, I don't know, Bounty Hunters team, but you only have 4 Relic 7. So you get a little bit of time to get the 5th one to Relic 7. Or, I was saying 15 battles over the course of a month. Something like that. Each tier is a different team. Different. I don't know. That's some,
I don't
and
know,
you know,
15 battles sounds like a lot of teams to gear up and a lot of teams to farm if you don't have them.
I mean, start with the things everyone has, or maybe, you know, you have to switch teams every 2 battles or something. I don't know. But, and then, you know, have rewards. But that encourages roster depth, encourages gearing up teams in a much more natural and gamey, right? The thing with Relic Delta, it's not adding to the game. It's not adding something fundamental. It's just, fucking snooze the ad. It's just doing a percentage-based damage reduction or damage increase. It's not making the game more interesting, like Datacrons did. Omicron, Zetas, Relics. That's my biggest issue with it, that it's not... The only thing it's encouraging is more Relics. But it's not...
Well, the issue that they were trying to solve was the lack of engagement with higher level relics. So in a sense,
that is what they're...
this is a fix.
In a sense, it is a fix.
Because if you don't want this to affect you, then you just relic up more things, which will naturally also increase your roster. Maybe not horizontally, but vertically it will.
But I think it's going to have the opposite effect of just encouraging people to quit.
I mean, it'll be. There is going to be. I think what it does is it shifts the barrier to entry, is what it does.
Yes, and that is.
And I mean, there already is
going to be
a barrier
detrimental.
and I think there already is a barrier to entry. Currently, right now, it's Relic 0. Maybe Relic 5.
I wouldn't say Relic 0. I'd put a higher number than that. Because getting to Relics is the easy part.
Well, no, I mean, in terms of fighting teams, because that's what this is doing, is it's, you know, offense versus defense, you know, once your team is at relics, they're substantially stronger than a non-relict team. So I would say that's your first barrier to entry. Because honestly, there's very little difference between a relic 8 team and a gear 8 team and a gear 12 team. The difference is maybe 20 speed.
Yeah, and relics
do not changes that dramatically.
Yes.
But the change from Relic 3 to Relic 7 isn't really all that bad. Like, it's not that hard. But the difference from Relic 3 to Relic 9 feels real bad.
Yeah, and I think the issue, of course, is because, right, gear levels were pretty meaningful, and relic levels were not. One relic another to the left did not feel very meaningful. Certain characters, again, more than others, of course, because Relic 8 and Relic 9 are attacker and tank. And part of that is they just probably didn't... I mean, could they just change the stats of relic levels? That'd be a crazy adjustment. Whatever, they don't want to do that. Okay, wait, a few things in chat. Taliano is saying this will not solve the issue of not engaging with higher relics. People who had high relics are going to have them after. People who were investing still won't because there is an incentive for it, just a punishment. Punishment will make them quit. Yeah, I mean, I think that's that's kind of the crux of my argument, and I think quite a few people's argument. And yeah, I mean, you know, let's say the last set of numbers from the September 26 update go through. I do think, you know, those numbers are still pretty ridiculous, and I think it will cause a bunch of people to quit. I hope CG will continue to listen to feedback. Because, you know, still, the content I was talking to some people earlier today, after the announcement, and they're still like, what is CG doing? Some of these people are the ones who are the beta testers. And, of course, Arnold and Scribe, they showed their feedback, and the first thing was don't do this, right? And, that's the sentiment from even, some of the people most in tune to the community. So I hope they will adjust this down. I hope they will give us more details about this new game mode and new events and new era related ability things. Maybe they'll have an era mini conquest that's basically what Nike Cat's been talking about, just for the new tunes you get, as kind of an extended era battle, pretty much over the course of the episode or something. That'd be cool. Something I haven't seen in other games I played in is that in this one, people have the expectation of completing all new content once unlocked.
Yeah, I would definitely say there's a sense of what's it called? Oh, fuck, I can't think of the word.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think, yes, I do agree with that at least in this game, that I haven't seen in a lot of other games, that regardless of whatever level you've unlocked something at, you automatically have this expectation of being able to complete all of that related content without having to gear it up or relic it out or mod it appropriately. Oh god.
Well, I think that also comes from the history of the game, right? Back in the Thrawn event.
There's also, I don't know, I think there's a misperception in the community of realistic expectations.
Well, yeah, the GOTV still being possible. That was an error on. It is still crazy that you can't max GOTV, but I see what you're saying. What was I just about to say? One thing that Italiano was saying, if people are being punished, they'll just go somewhere else. Yeah, I think that's the case. I don't know if I can't help but wonder if Arnold's announcement about his own new video game and studio is not perfectly timed. It almost felt a little too perfectly timed. He knows maybe there's a potential chance to jump ship or potential need to jump ship. Just to plug myself for a second, right? Part of the reason why I play other games, I have a lot more fun with a lot of different video games than this one. Right? There's not all that much to do in this game. I have so much more fun. Hey Sam, thanks for the bits. I have so much more fun playing other video games, right? First of all, if you're not one of my close friends who's watching right now, come watch some of these other games, right? Me and Evan, who's on Discord with me right now. We've been playing Baldur's Gate. That game was just so much fun, right? I play a lot of Marvel Rivals. My plan was after an hour and a half ago to just play some Marvel Rivals, but
sorry,
I wanted this one. No, don't be sorry. This is a good conversation. But there's just so many better games out there.
I was gonna say, me sitting here with, what is it? I've got 140 hours on Borderlands 4, and it came out 2 weeks ago.
And yeah, part of the thing I want to do, right? Part of my mission, and I'm actually in talks with some of the other creators from this game is to show people who only play this game different video games and different games. Like I'm trying to organize like a D&D one shot with some content creators and maybe get them to play some other video games just to show you some of what else is out there. And yes, like one of the big appeals of this game is it is a mobile game. You can play it on your phone instead of investing in a computer or an Xbox or PlayStation. But, if you have a decent computer or whatever, I do want to show you guys some other stuff out there, which I intend to do soon. I'm probably going to start streaming the Game of the Year frontrunner, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, probably next week. I'll try to set a time for that. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I feel like we basically said all there is to say about Relic Delta for now, right? Like, it's just, the full impact, we can predict what's going to happen in terms of what's going to happen in the community, what's going to happen with early, mid, end game players, with just, if relics will be incentivized versus not, if there's going to be an increase or decrease in spending. I mean, I guess we'll see, right? We really need more details, right? We need finalized numbers from them. We need to hear about this game mode. We need to hear about fucking Smuggler's Run 3, which was announced like 6 months ago. There's been no word on Smuggler's Run 3. If there's going to be a TB bonus planet, any of this shit. CG needs to just tell us more. We need something to look forward to, right? I want, if they even just said the name of this new game mode, at least that's something that we could have sat here speculating what it's going to be like. Give us a little more to be excited about, right? That's my main issue. All right, your last thing. If the last tier of your hypothetical event gives a vault of crystals, that'd be cool. But yeah.
Oh, for his
yeah.
Parabattle 2.0.
I actually got to make a phone call, and I've been streaming for over 2 hours. So, first of all, Evan, thank you for this. This was fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I do agree.
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent, I agree. One, as a community, we just don't have enough info, and we're, crying, the world is ending, like back in 2012, and the world's still going on in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, we'll see. But yes, for sure.
So, I mean, one, my prediction, I think the values are probably going to be half of what they are currently.
That'd be good.
And I think CG made a lot of at least realistic arguments to some degree for some of the things that they posted or some of the feedback that they got. A lot of the feedback I think they got was kind of bad about how to implement this differently or changes that they could already make to the game. I think trying to change a broken system trying to make small tweaks to a very broken system isn't going to fix the system.
For sure.
Like if you got 10 cogs that are broken in a system, replacing one cog isn't just going to make all the other 9 work appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And they need something where you get positive benefit, positive scalability. Because right now, there's no reason to invest beyond Relic 7 for the most part for a lot of tombs. And we just need some reason to invest or be rewarded for Relic 8 and 9 other than just being able to stomp teams.
Yeah.
That are like Relic 5.
Yeah. So
although I do think there's very little reason anything below Relic 5 should be reading a Relic 9 to begin with.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hopefully CG will just give us a little more fucking info.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's like the community just needs to take a chill pill until we get more information and then stop trying to start a forest fire.
Well, I don't know. I think voicing.
I think
That's
positive or constructive discussion is one thing, but what the community is doing is not that. They're
I think there's
screaming
both.
Bloody Mary. The
There's
majority of
definitely some
the community is screaming Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, you know, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, you know, again, CG needs to give us something to look forward to. It's only Tuesday, right? Give us a little more of the good stuff coming before the end of the week, so we're not mulling on this all week into next week. I mean, I do like the kit of the B wing. I think that's going to be an interesting change to the meta.
I have not looked at it.
And it's definitely gated to home one, which is good. Yeah, you know, we'll see. First of all, everyone in chat, thank you for joining. This is actually one of my most well-attended streams. A completely just pop-up stream. So, yeah, thank you guys. Let's see who we can raid. And yeah, also, you know, I play this game, I play some other games. Come just, you know, even if you've never heard of a different game I'm playing, just come and check it out. Like, maybe there's something you'll like. You know, we're gonna go raid Club 38. There's their podcast, which I've been invited on for 2 weeks ago. Let's get this channel right. Yeah, thank you guys for joining, and I'll hope to see you guys all back here soon. Please feel free to drop a follow if you haven't already. And Evan, thanks for chatting with me for the past while.
Hour and 40 minutes, according to
Yeah.
the Alliance voice chat.
Oh yeah. Alright, let's go raid 8 and Club 38.